Welcome back to another video, guys, with Onewheel here. And first off, before we get into the video, I want to just say, if you haven't checked out my Instagram, go ahead and do that. That's kind of where I post kind of my daily stuff with my Onewheel, and that's where I can post pretty much most of my content because it's just so simple and easy right there on the phone. So what are some things you can do to actually become a better rider? Now, obviously, I'm not a professional. This is coming from an average one-wheel rider like any other person. I'm not paid to say this or anything like that, okay? So this is just personal experience that I'm speaking from, and in my own point of view. So you guys can take hopefully some kind of value out of everything I'm about to say, okay? So first up, I want to talk about stance. Now, OnetrickWheel has an awesome extensive video on stance and the technicalities of it and how it affects the ride. So I do recommend watching their video and understanding it. So I will link that in the description below. But basically, your stance can affect your entire ride. It can even affect how you stop the board even, and how you come off the board, how you turn the board, how sharp you can turn the board, certain tricks, certain, terrains, you need to have a certain stance. And so having a wide stance will give you the most stability from toe to heel side. But for example, you don't want all that weight on the front sensor if you're going at a high speed, because you're putting more weight on the front sensor, and it can easily nosedive if it hits like a dip in the road or something like that, when you're hitting like 19-20 miles an hour. So, stance, for example, in that situation, you'd want to bring your foot closer to the center of gravity, which is the wheel. You want to get as close as possible to that wheel to take some of that weight off the front, and that way you could actually even push the speed even farther. I've been able to push the speed pretty high on the XR just because of that simple technique of distributing my weight towards the center of the gravity, which is where the wheel is. Stance is so dynamic, and you should be adjusting your stance while you're riding, shifting your feet around for the situation. That will make you a significantly better rider. Now, that brings me to the next topic as well, of stopping the board. So nothing screams more noob other than you getting off your one wheel and fumbling around and toppling around and you tumbling, and it just looks messy. It's not clean. It doesn't look like you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, but sometimes the board doesn't behave the way you would expect in certain terrains and inclines, and so you're trying to do this hill stop thing to stop, and you still can't find 0 to 2 miles an hour to get the motor to disengage. So things like that, is really important to have mastered. For me personally, the heel stop was never reliable, and I could never get good enough at that, bringing it to 0 to 2 miles an hour. So I just decided to take my whole foot off the whole sensor. So what I do is I adjust my stance, shift my foot forward all in one motion, and lift it off both sensors, so both pads are not activated, and the whole board disengages instantly no matter what speed you're going at. And when you learn that full motion of one foot moving off and doing that kind of motion there off the edge of the front, you will find yourself stopping so smoothly, and it will look so definitive and so reliable. It will look really good. Okay, so I do recommend coming up with really good stopping methods, learning how to skid stop in a pinch, learn how to come off the board in a way that can make you either look better or to make it a lot smoother. Okay, so definitely good stopping is a really good way and a good thing to practice, and that will make you a better rider. And while we're talking about mounting off the board, let's talk about mounting on the board, right? So instead of stopping, now getting started. When I first started riding one wheel, I would get on the front, on the nose, and try to balance out, but then it would topple down, and then I would tumble off a little bit, and it just looks so embarrassing if you're at an intersection and people are watching, or it just looks like you don't know what you're doing. And so I think I had this happen up to about 1,000 miles even now. I don't remember the last time this has happened, but I found ways to help that. And for me, what I have done is I actually make sure I plant myself on the board first and then level it out. I actually do like this weird swivel foot thing and then hop on and make sure my feet are flat, and then I level it out. So it kind of all happens in one motion, but until you kind of get comfortable with your mounting style, definitely you need to practice on just make sure both feet are on there and then bring it to level. Even if it's done slowly, remember, doing it slowly looks a lot better than trying to be quick and accelerate off, but you nose off and you topple over. So definitely get better at planting that foot on there and understanding that both sensors are engaged and your foot is nice and flat, and then bring that board to level. That will make you be a much better rider, and you will be a lot more confident when going off into intersections and things like that from ground zero, okay? Whatever it takes for you to get planted and know that you're planted before leaning into it, that'll make you a lot better of a rider. Now, the next topic I want to talk about is learning a couple tricks. And I made a whole video on the benefits of tricks. I'll link that below as well on why you should learn some tricks. It's very vital. But there are some really, truly vital ones. And I would say, you know, learning how to 180, you know, being able to turn on a dime, you know, you need that control again. We're going back to control as well. Will make you just a better rider. You need to be able to turn at any, you know, you need to be able to pivot at any point while you're on that board. So I do recommend practicing and learning that. That will make you a better rider. And also learning how to curb nudge, you know. Don't let a curb stop your adventure. Don't let a curb, you know, make you get off the board. Or don't let, you know, like, take ownership of that curb, you know. Learn it, understand it, master it, you know, because it will really open up the playground for you when you're out in the field. Now, this next one I want to talk about, speaking about tricks, now this is kind of completely the opposite side of the spectrum, but actually learn how to cruise on different terrains. So, you know, learn how to ride on dirt, low grass, high grass, turf, sand, hard packed sand, mulch, hay, clay, marble, ice, snow. And then also learn mixtures of these as well too. Like, you know, take for example, wet dirt. You know, now you got mud. Understand how your board is gonna react in mud. It's gonna probably surprise you the first time, and you will probably get very dirty and messy trying to carve the normal way that you would on dirt or grass or even on concrete, but you're on mud now, and so the board will behave completely different. So again, gonna make you a better rider, because when you get into certain positions while you're riding and you're adventuring out and you're in the field, it's not gonna always cater to you, right? You're gonna be in some pinch situations, and you want to be able to have those options to be able to ride and continue on, okay? You don't want to ever be boxed in when you're on the one wheel. You want to always have a way out. That will make you a better rider. And then the last thing I want to talk about, which will make you a better rider, some things you should work on is, you know, work on your style. I think this one gets overlooked a lot. See, you know, a lot of people ride the one wheel, right? Like, the one wheel is cool alone, but you know you're riding the one wheel really well when people start complimenting you, not the one wheel. They saying, you know, the one wheel is cool, but then they start saying that you are cool because you look good on the one wheel. So, you know, I used to ride and be really chill, you know, and just kind of put my hands in my pocket, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course, but it's definitely a lot more entertaining to watch someone really digging into the board and really feeling connected and engaged. You know, keep in mind that people are always watching you on that one wheel. You know, there's an audience out there. They're onlookers and they're looking, and you're giving them entertainment in some form or fashion. So keep that in mind, that people are looking. And so, you know, really, you know, I like giving people something to look at. You know, I like that, you know, and I'm not saying that you need to do that, but it definitely makes you look better as a rider, as an aesthetic thing. So, you know, use your knees, use your hands, use your arms, use your shoulder, your neck, your head, you know, really get into it and get into the flow and really prove that that board is an extension of your legs, and it will make you not only look like a better rider, but you are becoming a better rider. Look at Future Motion's pictures even, you know, they always got people on there and they're riding with swag, right? They're not just standing there on the board. They have a style, they have a look and an aesthetic that comes with their ride. So, you know, I say achieve that, you know, try to find your style, your look on the board. If it's sitting back and chilling, and that's cool too, like, you know, but definitely kind of set yourself apart from all the other riders, and you know, maybe look at other people's ride styles and things. So I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope you guys found some value in this video. There's just so many things you can get into, and there's so many ways to improve on the board, but these are just some of the things that I could just think of off the top. If you guys like this kind of content, definitely go ahead and like and subscribe. Go ahead and include in the comments and down below as well if you guys have some suggestions on things that will make somebody become a better rider. I would love to hear from you guys as well, learn from you, you know, and yeah, guys, be safe out there, okay? You know, keep floating if you're floating, and if you're not floating, find a way to float. Muse out. See y'all.